This would be a follow-on from, my story. And I am only speaking for myself as well. I just want to make that clear. This is necessary for me to do. And some of these people wouldn't have got that chance. So this is after I came out of hospital, Modbury Hospital. I was released, and I went to stay with my father for a while. He has kind of a family home. It is actually. It's been our family home, grandparents and all that kind of thing since we were born. And behind there, he has a unit, so it's divided, and that's where he stays. So I was staying in there with him, at the back of the property. Jet was coming to stay with me as well. Jet's been staying with his father on the weekends since, he was small. That's the way it was. And I had him during the week and did all the school stuff. So I was released, went to stay at Dad's, still under observation. I knew straight away. Obviously I could hear them talking about what I was doing, so yeah, I knew I was being watched again. They were still giving me the injections at that point. There was still 2 nurses always coming out, and one of them was still that particular nurse that was back at Ingle Farm doing the injections. She was still coming out to administer that for me, or to me. While I was there, never in my life have I had thoughts like that, where things are just too bad, like, I don't know if I can do this. I won't go into the specifics, but that was what the injections did to me. And I don't know if there's anyone else who's familiar with that drug, but it's really nasty. And not just that, you feel like your body is weighs a ton and you can't hardly move. So initially, once you've had one, the next couple of days are like that. Your body feels so heavy, like you're being dragged into the ground. So, as a turn of events, I kind of asked them about the injections and when was I coming off them? Could I sort that out, you know what I mean? And so another nurse turned up at the time and actually had me removed off of them. And yeah, I'm still to this day incredibly grateful for that. So the injection stopped, and I managed to get my head clearer again. Now, there's houses behind, in the street behind, and I know for a fact there were people positioned in those houses. They were having discussions constantly. There was digging going on as well. I think I mentioned that. A lot of digging in the yards everywhere I went, actually. I don't know if this was a dark magic kind of thing. I really don't know. But there was a lot of digging, big diggers as well as shoveling kind of stuff. These are just pieces floating around at this point. I don't have a full story to tell. Like, that's just the way it is. Now, so this was an area, that we grew up in since children. Knew everybody, like, around, the neighbours. And you need to know how difficult this is to actually talk about, because this is our family home, and I'm just having to stop the camera. This is our family home, and this is an absolute disgrace. What these people have done, like our family has been rooted in that area for a very long time, and a pinnacle in the community. Do you know what I mean? A big part of the community there for a long time, and yeah, just the disgrace of that. Like what's happened around there is sickening, like absolutely sickening. So I'm going to keep moving forward with this because I want to clear this energy up. Like this is disgusting. So the houses next door, grew up there as a kid and used to chase his chickens, and that was. Nobody really needs to know. It was a family member, and that house was torn down. It's now been replaced by 2 new houses, as they always do. And I think you'll find this has happened in every single area that they have followed me. Every single area has been now developed with new homes to line someone's pockets with this money, this shit. Somebody moved into that new, somebody was living in the property before it was torn down while I was there. It wasn't torn down until after I left. So this was a guy, I don't know, 30s, 40s, and I heard, quite a bit of stuff going on over that side, and I'll get to that. I might just pause and run this. So there was a night where I was in the unit. I had my own sort of contained area in the unit, where me and Jess stayed. I was there on my own that night, and I was on a phone conversation with my friend at the time, who was just talking rubbish, basically, nothing specific. I was still keeping up that one communication at that point. I just found it very hard to come up with an excuse. Eventually, I kept trying, and I did. And sometimes you have to break friendships. But there's more to that story anyway. I'm not really 100% sure of her involvement, but with a lot of people I did. I had to break those connections to just, I had all this shit around me. I had to get away from anybody else, you know what I mean? So this night I was in the unit on my own, and I'm hearing like a few people, men, didn't hear anything else on this night, basically into the property at the back, right near my windows, so surrounding like the unit that I was in. There was it's just so fucking hard. I tell you, this is so hard. Like, no one sits here and talks about this. Like, this is just you don't do this. There was a shooter outside the window. I was aware of that. With the corner of my eye, actually saw the shine off of his weapon. And, I mean, all the trauma and all the shit and everything aside, you're still going to be you, right? Like, And as we move forward, I'm going to talk more about all the stuff that they put on me if I last that long, and how I've kind of thrown down. I think these people find me a little bit amusing as well, So, like I said, you're always going to be you. That doesn't switch off, even though all of this is happening. So I've promptly gone up to the window while I was speaking to my friend on the phone and closed the blind, right on him. It was dark, so I didn't allude to the fact that I saw him. I just continued to talk and act normal and just shut the blind. So I'm sure he was sitting there what the F? That probably didn't matter because I still heard them talking, so they could see in somehow. And this is where it gets really messed up. Certain things that were said, nobody could have seen that, and I started to wonder about infrared or stuff like that because for example, in Mowbray Hospital, I was right in the heart of the building, walking through, and in the bathroom even, and personal things were commented on that nobody could see. You know what I mean? This is how I kind of figured things. So there was talk, they wanted to shoot me in the leg. That was the goal. Obviously they wanted me alive for some purpose. And yeah, I think I basically ended up going to sleep that night. Every night you go to sleep, you're not sure if you're going to wake up. There was another instance where my throat's starting to get a lot of pressure at the moment, and I did check it this morning in the mirror, and the vertebrae at the back of my neck is now protruding in the front of my neck. So yeah, this is heavy targeting. This isn't just your backyard kitchen witch. All right, this is heavy targeting. But I'm sitting in this place right now because I'm delving through really personal stuff, and there's ups and downs with this. And for example, yesterday I was doing some conscious creation that was mind-blowing. All right. Mind-blowing, mind-bending, and this is what it is, it's this I'm using as power. It's not, this can't break me, it can't trip me up, it's going to be fuel, basically. And when you get to the point that you've seen this and you've been in this, something activates within you, and you become a bit of a force, within yourself, and way zoomed out perspective. You start to have super zoomed out perspective. You're not here in this anymore. You understand that this is like a fingernail, you know what I mean, of compared to what you are. He's just trying to get me to mess up with my words and not being able to speak. There's a extreme amount of pressure on my throat, so I might pause it and come back. But yeah, get this, I think all these houses around me are specifically involved watching me have me locked down. I don't know. Particularly a few doors up, there's some shit going on, and there's some call out, like I'm hearing a female or sometimes a male asking somebody to hit their kids. All right. Now, whether this is like done telepathically or this is like everybody's listening to this podcast, I don't know. I cannot confirm or deny any of that. I'm hearing someone say, do you want someone to hit their kids? And then someone says, yes, please. And a few doors down, I hear a kid start screaming, a child start screaming, and a woman saying, oh, I'm sorry. The mutt moves my hand. This is exactly what I'm hearing. So this is like insane for me to even be sitting here doing this. Like, this is insane. And, you know, this is what I have struggled with by even putting these videos up, by even doing this. Is like, really? I've got to sit here and talk about all this. But it's a sacrifice that has to be made because this is real. Things are getting real now. Really real. And soon I won't be able to speak. So, and I did give these people, you know, a bit of a kind warning about 3 years ago that what's going to unfold is not going to be pleasant for them if they keep on creating this. Do you know what I mean? If they keep pushing with this and things spiral out of control, they're not going to like where this goes. Because they live enmeshed in this 3D illusion that nobody's ever going to know the truth, that nobody's ever going to find out what they've done. So, I mean, what? Are you trapped here? Is there no... It doesn't make any sense to me that these people don't have any kind of foresight or second sight, what do you call it? Sixth sense. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, this really doesn't translate at all. It just doesn't. And yet, you know, it is what it is. So the only way I can figure to do this is to just tell my story. So there was another night at the house, and this was pretty full on. This was when I knew they were around, obviously, in the property. So, you know, these people are scum, rats. They hide in shadows, in the darkness, lay in wait for you. They don't front up like a prize fighter, like here the fuck I am. They hide in the darkness. So I'm standing out there and out in, you know, in the dark, in the garden, and I'm feeling a presence, and I know that it's my great-grandmother, sort of checking in, or maybe warning me, because immediately after that, I felt like I was going to pass out, and I did. I've walked in to my dad's area, and literally just hit the floor. So I pass out, come to again, and I go in to my dad. I say, look, I'm not well. I'm going to lose consciousness. And I flop on, you know, on the end of his bed, just like out. And he didn't know what to do. He had a look of shock and horror. And I come to, and he carts me off to my room. takes me in, you know, makes sure I'm comfortable, and goes out and locks the door. Next thing I hear is a scuffle. Now, I'm barely coming to again. I'm hearing a scuffle outside with my dad. And then I heard clearly a taser. You know, it's unmistakable, right? You know what that sound is. Then I'm hearing someone being dragged, you know, like shuffled. You can tell when somebody's feet aren't walking and they're being, you know, scuffled to his room. And I lose consciousness again. So I'm out again. In the main house, there were people staying there. I didn't even see who it was, to be honest. But I heard them, and I know this voice. I know this fucking voice. This is this same... Okay, I need to get my language. This person is a parasite. This is the person that had called the hit out on me. Dangerous little piece of shit this is. I'm telling you right now. I'm hearing her voice in the house. And she's saying, you know, things to the effect of, oh, well, I admire her. She does all this stuff on her own. And she's laughing and giggling. And, you know, she was watching me put my extensions back in and just, like, you know, just doing stuff to keep myself busy. And, yeah, this person has been driving this, has been absolutely driving this. I'm sure many other people have been involved as well, but this level of manipulation is insane. Like, this person is a sociopath, psychopath even, I would say. So I'm assuming maybe it was Paul and Sarah that were in that house, these two little scumbags. Now, she was pretty triggered by his obsession, and that caused her to be obsessed, basically, and want to be dead. I don't need to go into the specifics of the gross stuff about that. There was a night, what I was alluding to with the house was, there were eskies out the back of this house. You know when you hear an esky lid coming off and being put back on and stuff like that. So there were eskies out the back of this house, more than one, because I heard them reference them as eskies. Put it in the eskies, that kind of thing. So I mean, this is so convoluted, and yeah, like I say, just pieces. These are just pieces. But the biggest part of this one is the night where Rose, my psychic, was taken into the house, either next door or over, and so I hear her being brought in the unit. And, you know, the guy lifts up the sheet on my things out the back and asks her if she needs to touch them to get a reading on me. And, yeah, asks her what I know. And she then tells them, you know, what she thinks I know. And is take Carter off. And I head outside and I sit on the step. And it's, you know, it's really, like, early in the morning, really quiet. And I hear that play out where it sounded like they were in a garage, because I hear a massive roller door, sliding, yeah, definitely a sliding garage door, slam shut. And yeah, I can't make out anything that's going on until I hear. Now I'm going to make this quick for you because you helped us. And yeah, then I hear her husband screaming for a short while. Before that, a few cars burnt off down the street to collect them, and I heard the call out for that, to go and pick the girl's psychic up and see what she knows, bring her back. The next day, walking through the garden, there's a TV out there. It's like an outdoor kitchen type thing. I hear a news report that there was a car accident and a prominent psychic had been killed, and they made a point of saying her neck was snapped. Now that is not something you normally hear on a newscast, and since then I have Googled and tried to find this person because I thought I'm nuts, this is not happening, I must be crazy. So I've looked, I cannot find her anywhere. I can't even find a news report of that. So that's a real tough one for me, and for years, for a couple of years now, has been really hard to swallow that one, because she was a really beautiful person, and anyone who does that kind of work, who is a practicing psychic, knows how much you give of yourself and how intense and pervasive that work can be. You're seeing things that you can't erase, you might not want to, and she was a beautiful woman, so that was a real hard one.